Hello my loves, it's Haley Reese, and today I'm coming at you guys with another crazy, ridiculous, insane story time from my life. But before I get into this video, if you guys are new to my channel, hello, my name is Haley. My life is nothing shy of a little bit crazy sometimes, so if you want to continue to hear all of the crazy things that happen to me, or you just want to see some more videos from me, then please go ahead and click that subscribe button. I get so excited, guys, every time I see a new subscriber. It makes me really, really happy, and it motivates me to continue making these videos for you guys, so please do that, and let's get into this video. So, my parents split up when I was 2 years old. They got a divorce. And so I never really went through anything crazy when it came to my parents divorcing. It never really affected me in any sort of negative way. Because I mean, I was little, I didn't know anything other than my parents being separated. And that was just the way my life was. It wasn't a big deal. I had two parents who loved me very much, and yeah. But as some of you may know, if your parents are divorced, eventually what comes along with living with a single mother is she is going to enter the dating world. And if you guys have had any experiences, I know probably not as crazy as mine in my life, but similar to mine, you know that there are some really great guys out there, and there are some not so great guys out there. And this story revolves around one of those not so great guys out there who became fixated on my mother and our family and became fixated on stalking her, knowing her whereabouts, and things turned pretty intense pretty quickly. So I'm just gonna go this whole video without saying his name because this guy is just a complete lunatic, and to this day, I kid you guys not, he stays up creeping my stuff, he stays up on my things, and he's like now and then pops up out of the woodwork to message my mom. Sometimes because he wants to get back together, and sometimes because he's on one of those like psychopathic binges and he just wants to be a complete crazy person. Let me explain this man to you guys, okay? Let me explain him, because in order to completely understand the craziness of this story, you need to understand him. So he was this super skinny, but thought that he was big and macho type of personality. And he would always go on about how he was in these gangs and he was so big and tough and blah blah blah. But if you're watching this video because you're still a stalker, I'm sorry, but I don't buy it. To this day, I don't buy it. But anyways, he was an alcoholic, which, I mean, obviously being an alcoholic is a really difficult thing, and I know that it's hard to overcome for people. And I'm not denying him of that. But what I am saying is when he drank and he got to this certain point, he became a very, very mean, vindictive, cruel, abusive personality. I can't even begin to explain to you guys like what this man put us through. He was a complete nightmare. Like, he was just the type of personality that could go from being so sweet and kind and somebody that you want to have around to this personality that was just so cruel and so mean and so nasty. Like, I remember this one particular time, oh, I will never forget it, where he came home super wasted and he was looking for his dog, and he was running all around the house screaming looking for this dog, and he woke us all up out of bed and made me, my sister, and my mom go looking for his dog in the streets, scream this dog's name like complete craziness, only to get home and he runs downstairs, almost falls on a like table saw that he hadn't put the cover back on, so literally almost splits himself in half, only to find his dog hiding behind the couch in the basement because he knew like he came home drunk and he didn't want anything to do with him, so he was hiding. Like, this is the type of personality he was. I lost friends because their parents wouldn't let them hang. Bless you. That's my baby boy, my little dog. Yeah, what I was saying was I lost friends because their parents didn't want them hanging around me because they knew the complete craziness that came when he would get to a certain point of drinking. And it was a very dark time for my family. And I know a lot of you are going to say, well, why didn't your mom leave? And the problem with abusive relationships, and I know this firsthand from seeing this, is they are the most manipulative personalities usually, and they are able to convince people to stay with them and convince them that they need them and that they need to stay. And I think the problem was, and I'm not trying to speak like on behalf of my mom, but I think the main problem was that he could be the sweetest, most loving man to her, and then he would drink and he would become this cruel, abusive, complete abusive personality. Like, I don't even know how else to explain it. So she would stay with him because she loved that sweet him. And he would use the, I need to get through this, I need your support, like, I'm gonna quit drinking, blah, 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 blah. I'm sorry, but it was all BS. And so it was hard. It was really hard for her. And it wasn't until he started to become physical with her that she was like, I'm drawing a line here. This is it. Like, I can't do this anymore. I have children. I'm putting my children through this. Like, no. And she left him. Oh, I was so proud of her. I was so proud of her for finding that strength within herself again, when for the longest time she suppressed her strong side and put her emotional side out and wanted to give this man sympathy and help and support, but it wasn't worth it. It just wasn't worth anything. So she leaves him. And this is where the stalking comes in. And this is just like, oh my gosh, it goes to show you never underestimate somebody's attachment to you, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. So every single night when he would get past a certain point of drinking, for a few months' time, he would show up at the house and bang on the door to be let back in. And it was so scary. I remember thinking, like, what's he gonna do if he gets in here? It was me, my mom, and my sister, you know, 3 women in this house, little girls and a woman in this house. And so we would sleep all in my mom's bed, and we knew, like, past a certain time that we would turn all the lights off and we would make it look like no one was home, and we would just, like, hope that he would leave. It got to a point where the police had to be involved because he just wasn't taking a hint that we wanted nothing to do with him. It was over. He used to try to scare her into saying, like, oh, I'm in a gang, this, that. And you know what, guys? Like I told you, he still keeps up on my videos. So if you're watching this, you weren't in a gang. You're just this little man who thought that you could abuse and manipulate a vulnerable, kind-hearted woman. And that is just, ugh, crazy to me. So for a long period of time, that was how we were living. We knew that he was going to show up in random places. We knew that his fixation, he wasn't going to let it go, at least for a while. And it was very, very scary. This went on for a couple of months, and then eventually he kind of, like, his visits slowed. And so it seemed as though he was maybe moving on and he was getting over it. And then eventually, for a few weeks, he didn't show up at all. And so we started to be able to live our lives again and feel like he moved on with his life. We were in a better place as a family unit, and he was just going to be gone and out of the picture. But that was not the case. That was not the case. So I remember this one day, oh my gosh, guys, this is so freaky. I had just gotten a computer in my room. This was like a huge deal because this was when MSN was big. And if you guys know what MSN is and you know how big of a deal that is, comment down below, because you're definitely a 90s baby and you know that was like our shit. My grandma came over to the house, and my mom, my grandma, my sister, and I were supposed to go to the flea market. And so they were like, it's time to go, let's go to the market. And I was like, Mom, like, my crush just signed into MSN and, like, he logged in, logged back out, logged in, logged back out. So, like, I know he wants to talk to me. Like, that was, like, a thing back then. Like, you knew they wanted to talk to you if they were, like, playing the log in, log out thing. Like, that, or they had really bad internet connection. But I'm gonna go with the fact that he wanted me to talk to him. So I said, please, Mom, please, can I stay at home by myself? I'll be fine. Like, you're just going to pick up a few things at the market. Like, it's only gonna be, like, half an hour to an hour max. And I'm old enough to stay home alone. Like, I was like 13, which was like the legal age. So I was like, please let me stay. And my mom thought about it, and she was like, look, like, he hasn't showed up to the house in what feels like ages. It was like a few weeks. And mind you, before those few weeks, it was like few and far between. So she was like, you know what? Okay, lock the front door. You can stay home alone. Now, I had this cell phone, and it was like my first cell phone, and it was for like emergencies. And it was one of those, like, flip up, and, like, you have to, like, press each number, like, multiple times to get one letter. Looking back, how inconvenient, but we thought it was, like, the best thing ever, obviously. And so I had my flip up phone, and she was like, you know, you can call me, like, if anything is wrong, like, you know, whatever. And I was playing on my computer, and I was talking to my crush and my friends on MSN, and I hear someone pull into the driveway. And right away, I just had this sinking feeling that it was gonna be him, because it was only like 10 minutes after my mom had left, and I was like, there's no way she came back. Like, this is definitely him. So I ran to the front window of my mom's room, and she had like a huge bay window in her room, and I was looking out of it, and I see his truck, and my heart just sinks, and I start to feel sick to my stomach, and I'm like, what are the odds? Like, I just felt, oh, I can't even explain the feeling to you guys. It was so scary. And so he goes and he starts to bang on the door, but he doesn't bang for as long as he normally does. It was like boom, boom, boom. And I didn't answer, and I didn't move, and I was like frozen right in front of the window. And then 2 seconds later, he does another boom, boom, boom. And then he just gives up and walks what I think is gonna be back to his car. But all of a sudden, I hear him pull up the garage door, and my heart's like, and right away I knew that he was gonna get into the house, because my sister often like played in the garage, and very rarely did she lock the garage door, which was something that my mom always gave her trouble for. But very, very rarely she would go out there to like shoot pucks and shoot rings, because we used to play ringette. And she would always forget to come back in and lock the door. And so the minute that I heard him going into the garage, I was like, I need to think survival mode. I don't know like what I thought he was gonna do, but I was panicking. So I hear him open the door, and I hear him come into the house. And so right then and there, I'm like, I need to make a move or he's gonna find me in here. So I ran into my mom's walk-in closet. Now, the way that her room was set up was you would walk into her room, and let's say this was her room. I don't know if this is gonna make sense, but I'm gonna try. This is her room. There's a little hallway here inside of her room, so it goes square, hallway. This is the bay window, by the way. There's a walk-in closet here, and then up right next to it is the ensuite bathroom. So it goes bathroom, hallway, walk-in closet, room, window, door. If that makes sense. And so I hear him downstairs, and I'm in the walk-in closet, and the walk-in closet opens to the right, and I was pushed up against the wall, whereas like if it would open, it would come towards me. So I'm in the walk-in closet, and I hear him like turn on my mom's computer, because if you guys know like the older computers, they would go, I don't know how to make the sound, but the window's like dun, dun, dun. I don't know, I'll insert it here. And so I hear that sound, I know that he's gonna go through my mom's computer. So he spends about 5 minutes doing that, and I'm calling my mom. I'm calling her, but she had just left, and she didn't text and drive or like call and drive, so I knew that she wasn't gonna see it until she got to the flea market and pulled her phone out. I hear him downstairs, and then eventually I hear him get up from the computer desk, turn the computer back off, and start like rummaging through her things. And keep in mind, my house was extremely quiet at this time. It was only me, so I could hear him from upstairs like rummaging through her filing cabinet and looking through her things. And I'm like, I don't know what this guy's doing. I'm freaking out. I'm 13 years old. Like, I was in over my head. I was so afraid of him. And I felt very, very vulnerable. And it just felt to me like a horror film. Like, I just felt like this was gonna end so badly. So I hear him coming up the stairs, and honestly, guys, my heart was beating so fast. I thought that my heart was gonna give me away. Like, I could hear it so loud in my ears that I really truly believed that he was gonna hear my heartbeat, and that was gonna give me away. Like, when I think back on that moment, I've never had my heart beat so fast and so hard and so loud to me in my ears. Oh, so scary. He doesn't go into my room, he doesn't go into my sister's room or my bathroom. He like heads straight to my mom's room, and he comes inside and he starts to like go through her drawers. And I'm like, oh my goodness, he's gonna come in the closet, like he's gonna find me. And I don't know what, to this day, I don't know what I thought he would do if he found me. But like, let's just talk about the fact that I'm hiding in the closet. Like, even if he wasn't gonna do anything bad to me when he found me, that was gonna be a really awkward exchange. Like, oh, hey, yeah, I'm here, hi. So at this point, I'm not calling my mom because I couldn't talk anyways if she answered. And then I hear him pick up the home phone. And I hear him start to go through the home phone. And like, he's doing this, guys, like he'd done it a million times. Like, he knew his key spots he was gonna go through. Like, it was very, very frightening. And so I hear him going through the home phone and like seeing who's been calling the house. And then he puts the home phone back down and he walks towards the closet. And at this point, my heart is still beating so loud. I don't think you can actually hear someone's heartbeat like that, but it felt like he was gonna hear my heartbeat. It was so scary. And he opens up the closet door and he pushes it and pushes it and pushes it, and this is over like my grandpa, who was the love of my life's life, like 1000% true, like I haven't exaggerated it. And right when he goes to touch me with the door, he turns his head in, peeks side to side, and slams the door shut. Now let a girl just tell you, if I have ever in my life thanked God above for being a late bloomer, it was in that moment right there. Because I honestly think if I had been developed, he would have bumped right off me and known that someone was there. But I was so small and I was so petite that when he opened the door, he opened it far enough that he didn't think anyone was there and slammed it shut. To this day, I think about that and it gives me anxiety, like how scared I was. Like, that was so scary. And so then he goes into her washroom and he looks through like her cabinet, which I don't know what he thought he was gonna find there. And then he walks back through the house and goes downstairs. So right when he goes downstairs, I look at my phone and I see that my mom's called like 5 times because I had texted her saying he's in the house. And so he goes outside to go to his car, and I can't even explain to you the breath of like relief I felt when I knew he was out of the house. Like, I just felt like I could breathe again. And then I hear someone yelling outside. I go downstairs and I see that my mom's home, and I run outside and I wrap my arms around her as tight as I can, and like I felt like, oh, thank God, like my mom's here, I'm safe now. And he turns to me, and I will never forget, he crouches down and looks at me and says, "Haley, did I scare you? I didn't try to scare you. I didn't even know you were home." And like the funniest part of the whole thing is when my mom first pulled in the driveway, he said that he had just got there and he wanted to see how she was doing, and she's like, "You're a liar. You were in the house. My daughter's in the house." And he's like, "Haley's not home." And she's like, "I'm telling you, my daughter's in the house and you just went inside of it." And so what scares me about this as an adult looking back on the situation is, how many times did he know that we left the house, and did he enter, whether it be through the garage, through the back door, like through a freaking window? Like, how many times did this man go into the house when we weren't there? Like, to me, that is so frightening and so scary. And so my mom called the police and she got a restraining order on him. And then we decided to move because we just didn't feel safe in this big house anymore. It was 3 people who, let's be honest, we are not the most intimidating group of people, and we just didn't feel safe anymore. So we left the house and we moved on with our lives and tried to leave that chapter of our lives in the past. This man, to this day, likes to try to creep up on my stuff. He likes to comment on my things now and then. I see him like pop up out of the woodwork. He'll try to message my mom, sometimes in nice ways, saying that like he loves her, sometimes in really, really crazy, cruel, mean ways, and sometimes he's just like trying to reach out. The saddest part of this whole story is that he has a daughter, and I just couldn't imagine being raised by a parent like that, and I really hope that he didn't continue to treat her the way that he treated all of us, but I don't know. I guess the whole point of this video that I really want to get across here is that if you or someone you know or love is in an abusive relationship, I know it's hard. I know it's hard to leave. I've seen it. I've been there. I know. But never underestimate what somebody is capable of, and never underestimate how far they will go to try to continue to control you. Like, he went into our house and looked through everything like it was nobody's business, like he's done it a million times over. And to me, that's one of the scariest things, because who knows if she hadn't gotten that restraining order, if I hadn't been home that day to know that he was going into the house, what he would have done or how far it would have went. It's a very, very scary thing to think about. Well, guys, as you guys know and have seen, if you've watched my other videos, or if this is your first video of me, my life is crazy. I have been through some crazy things. I haven't even like scraped the surface of the things that I've been through, but I thought what better place than to share it with you guys, because you guys seem to enjoy my crazy life. You seem to enjoy the crazy things that I've been through, or the crazy stories I have to tell. If you guys enjoyed this crazy video and enjoyed me and my channel, please go ahead and click that subscribe button. I post a ton of videos and I don't want you guys to miss when I upload. And please give this video a big thumbs up. Like I always say, guys, it makes my heart super happy. I really do appreciate it when you do that. Remember, my loves, do all things with kindness. And until next time, love you.